The favourites, Manchester City. I haven't actually checked if they're favourites. I'm just assuming that they are. They are through and have ended Newport's incredible run in the Cup.
It was an incredible run.
Which it was. I mean, had Newport have gone through, obviously we're thinking, had they have a more favourable draw, it would be the first time since 1990 that a fourth-tier side had reached the quarterfinals. That's how big this was, Jim.
Playing
That's how big it was.
in a World War One trench.
Yeah.
That's what it sounded like.
Took some scalps. Took Middlesbrough, took Leicester, took
Yeah.
Wrexham.
They
got their goal as well.
And people
They
will
got a
write.
goal.
People will write off the Wrexham result, which was achieved after a replay. It's a derby, mate.
It is.
A Welsh derby of
If
sorts.
that header had gone in,
Oh, I know. No, they could have been dreaming, couldn't they? Backinson. What a chance. I mean, I suppose it was a difficult one to take. He generated as much power as he could, and Edison clawed it away. But when that happened, you thought to yourself, no, surely not. And, of course, it wasn't.
I feel like he should. I don't want to be critical because it's not a time to be critical. They've bowed out gracefully. But I feel like he should have got more power on that header.
Yeah.
Get those
That's
neck
the point,
muscles
wasn't it? Yeah.
pumping.
I know. When he did,
height. Just give us height. Get under it a bit more.
It fell into that classic football coverage cliched zone of the keeper made a good save, but he shouldn't have been allowed to make that save.
Yeah.
He should have been dealt with.
You
Should have
shouldn't
been
be
dispatched.
allowed to have that smiley face.
Because the thing is, and the key, the key point here is, if that had gone in, they would have also lost 4-1.
Yeah.
So,
Well, no, it would have been 4-2,
Maybe 4-2,
obviously.
who knows?
4-2.
But I think that at least they were in it until the break.
half time,
Well,
you're
it's-
thinking this is a game on here.
Yeah,
51
exactly.
minutes.
And that is brilliant. Like that's something to take from the game. They got the goal as well, which is brilliant. I feel for Joe Day, because he left the last round immediately, didn't he, to go and see his wife because she was giving birth, and he played like a man that's not had a lot of sleep. A couple of those, just like
Got his nose broken. That was a bit
indeed.
far.
Yeah, I know.
And
Like,
did you see Sané broke his nose with a football? Fair
Yeah.
enough. Part of the game.
God,
All part of
blimey.
the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, as they say. But then Sané after that, had another shot which hit him right on the nose again. And you're thinking he's already got a
It's
tissue
like,
paper up there,
Sané,
mate.
why don't you try and score?
Yes.
Well,
that-
that's take
that's
out
how
the keeper.
good and vindictive Leroy Sané is.
Yeah.
apparently.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
He ranks goals just slightly below the rearranging of another football player's face.
Yeah, if you can deflect one in off of a broken nose, then great.
It's better. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, but they had their moments, as we say, and I think that's it for Newport. They're playing Manchester City for crying out
Exactly.
loud. The fact is, they had a moment in the first half that, yes, of course, we would have preferred it to go in. At half time, it's 0-0. Even when they got it back to 2-1, the fans essentially were allowed to sort of dream for a
Yes.
large
Yeah.
section of that 90 minutes. And we talk about this with England in football tournaments. Just give us a
Give 'em a
moment or
moment.
two.
And
And
you
they
have-
can't argue. You can say that they did that.
You have to give Newport their praise for their thriftiness as well, because it's the only club I know that is growing the potatoes for the staff canteen in the same place they play the football. Yeah, so that's why the pitch is so bad.
Yeah.
because they're digging out all the potatoes from it.
They, I mean, if
I
they
mean, it's
were
literally a potato patch.
if they were playing-
that pitch was the worst pitch I've seen this season.
It was and they
was a
probably
proper
watered it
mashup,
like
mate.
It
they
was
probably
mashup.
watered it just to upset them.
They water every pitch, Pete. Every pitch
Disrupt-
gets
Yeah,
watered.
but over water.
Talk to
Well,
me
they
about Deso
disrupted.
grass.
Well,
Talk
they-
about Deso hybrid.
They need to butter up the pitch if it's.
Yeah,
Get
bit of salt and
greasy.
pepper.
But
Get some
they-
baked beans on there.
But they have
Imagine
some,
that. Imagine you got the pitch with baked beans everywhere.
I can't
Yeah, there's
imagine
no rule
it.
against it.
Sounds like
you
a
don't know
porno.
that.
No, I don't know
you don't
that,
know
but-
that.
Sounds like a very special porno. Manchester City.
dear.
Not
they-
everything is a very special corner, Pete.
Jim, you know fully
That's
well.
probably not true.
Peter,
yeah.
back to Newport. Port.
I think Man City, if they were playing any other top division side, they probably wouldn't have gone with a lot of their main team effectively.
Hey,
They
Phil
probably
Foden started. Have some respect.
Well,
I'd say I
yeah.
love the way Phil Foden, after Newport got the goal, he just went, oh, for God's sake. It
Yeah.
was like he
Slugs.
spitefully just took
Yeah.
the ball, went past a couple of players, stuck
Lash.
it in there.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there you go. I'm
I-
off to Bayern Munich. No, it's the other one.
Yeah, I like the fact that had Fernandinho not played, it would have really shown as well. They are so over-reliant on him in that position, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that a lot. I feel they'd have had enough to see the game out. I've got to be honest.
The annoying thing is, Jim, we'll never know.
Nah.
Yeah.
We will never
Cowards.
ever know. Yeah, but a great win, and it was nice to see Phil Foden score a couple of goals.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him play more in the league, perhaps.
Everyone's saying that, but I mean, he is 18.
Yeah.
I mean, 18. Like,
Wow.
that's such a young.
Pele won the World Cup at 11,
17.
mate. so-
Yeah, I know. but
It was
that
17.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. What's your point, Jim?
The point is, he's still very young. There's a lot of good players in front of him, and he's doing everything he should be doing at
Sure.
this point, and seeming to bide
So-
his time.
sorry,
so
Jim,
it's
are you-
actually
are
a
you-
bloody sensible point.
Are you
Thank
saying-
you very much.
Are you saying that him and Pele are the same human being or not? I don't think they are.
No, they're not. They're different men.
Okay, but
Because Pele's real name, because you know Brazilians have nicknames.
yeah,
Pele's real
Edison,
name is
Phil
Philip Foden.
Is that right?
De Nascimento.
Big
Yeah.
Phil, they called him for
I
a
didn't
while.
realise that two things. Max Power, his middle name is Macaulay, so Max Mac.
He
Power.
doesn't play for Newport or Man City.
I know.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well,
But
the
neither
team,
does
that,
Pele,
went,
to
the
be
team
fair.
that went out last round was Middlesbrough, and who is the manager of Middlesbrough?
Tony
Pulis.
Exactly. What's his son called?
Anthony Pulis.
It's Tony Pulis.
Yeah.
Yes.
Boy.
Disgusting.
Boy, Pulis.
What's wrong with that?
Disgusting behaviour.
Why didn't you say this the other week when we were talking about them?
George
I'm
Foreman's
bringing it
got
up now.
Okay.
George Foreman's got 7 kids and they're all named George.
And he's mad.
Yeah, he is mad.
He puts his name on everything.
He does. He does.
Yeah. Oh my goodness! Yeah.
Anyway, it was a lovely
It was
Saturday afternoon, wasn't it?
It was indeed. Yeah,
Did you see Pep Guardiola's post-match? It was disrupted by a fire alarm. He was very upset about
Oh,
it.
wow.
I bet it was. Oh, do you know what? I love Guardiola. The fact that they've just beaten Newport in the cup, League Two opposition, and he was still purring.
Yeah.
He's like, we did so well. We absolutely loved it. He loves football. He's such a scholar of the game. He doesn't care who it is, what competition. He absolutely loves it. And just very quickly, you're right about Phil Foden, Jimmy. You would back Guardiola to get it right in terms of his development and putting him in bit by bit into the side.
I saw somebody on Twitter, so apologies for not name checking you if you listen to the show, but someone
Donald Trump?
It wasn't Donald Trump. No, someone did sort of crunch the numbers and looked at the 18-year-olds playing in the top leagues in Europe and sort of the minutes they have, and Phil Foden's right up there. Like
Okay.
Jadon Sancho's obviously a little bit of an outlier, but
Vinicius must be right. He's 18.
Yeah, he was one.
Those
of
two
I
are
think there's
exceptional. They're
there's-
exceptional.
There's only sort of 20. I think it was 26 players at all that I think have featured in total.
Yeah, and
so
someone was making the point. I saw I think I must have seen a reply to that tweet because I saw someone using that as a bit of evidence around the fact that Callum Hudson-Odoi should be playing more. So Jadon Sancho's doing this and Vinicius Junior's doing this. I mean, those two are exceptional.
Yeah.
I mean, they're you
Yeah,
can't.
yeah.
No one knows. Literally, no one knows whether Callum Hudson-Odoi is as good as those players because he hasn't played
Yeah.
enough. And he hasn't played enough senior football. Before we move on from the Newport game, I just wanted to make a quick comment about Mike Flynn, the manager. Did you see him before the game?
What was it? Remind me.
I thought it was really, I don't want to be harsh on him, but I thought it was quite inappropriate that he was in the tunnel before the game with Pep Guardiola and the cameras were on him. It was live. And he was saying, I'm very proud to meet you. I think you're an absolute genius and all this other stuff. And I thought, I don't know if I want to, if I wouldn't want my manager saying that before a game.
I
Maybe
agree
you
with
got
you.
caught on a
It's-
long
it's a-
lens.
It's a gladiatorial contest.
Yeah, I agree with
And
you.
there's, I mean, you got to have at least an idea that you want to win the
It's
game.
not quite Burton Albion, is it?
No, but I think it's the wrong message. I absolutely do it after the game,
Yeah.
but it's the wrong message beforehand.
I completely agree.
yeah,
But
I mean, could that be that he just didn't know the cameras were on and?
Or maybe
Really
he got
frustrating.
wind that Man City were going to get the hell out of there right after the full-time whistle.
Maybe,
Well,
yeah.
I'll- well,
yeah.
I'll
Newport didn't get a booking either, by the way.
Yeah, but they put up a good
Kick
fight.
'em in,
I know,
love
but
it.
What is
Can't
it
reach
against
him on that
Burton
pitch.
you've got?
Yeah.
Well, I think I told you. That,
Too many baked beans in the
I
way.
mean, it's something to do with the 9-0 scoreline, Jim. I think that Newport, they didn't concede until the 51st minute, and they were still in the contest. They managed to pull one back. So, with regards to no bookings, their performance suggested that they dug deep and so on and so forth.
Pep Guardiola will constantly, though, in every round of the FA Cup until it gets to play in the Premier League side, he will go into the opponent's dressing room afterwards and go,
Get a load of me.
"Oh, well done, guys."
Look at this
and
jumper.
Pat.
Yeah,
I just
it's-
want him one
look how
time just
giddy I
go
am.
in there and go, "Wank a sign."
He's got a
Fucking, you're
special
rubbish.
jumper that he
You're
wears
all
just for that
rubbish.
as well.
I think
Yeah.
he probably did with Mourinho's Real Madrid.
Maybe, yeah.
Watford. They've got to be in the conversation, haven't they, for a slight outside chance? Because, as we say, Man City and one of Manchester United and Chelsea will be in the next round. It was another hard-fought victory for the away Premier League side. They scored with their only shot on target, Capoe, of course, and it rode their luck at times. QPR will be very disappointed. Missed opportunity for them, especially as it wouldn't have gone to a replay. It would have gone to extra time. And with the home crowd, and had they have scored late on, which they should have done.
It was a
with-
terrible game, though.
With Tony
Yeah, it
Leicester.
really was.
So boring.
It was, but QPR will feel that they should have at least scored in the game. Do you not think?
Maybe I'm biased because they knocked Pompey out in the last round.
That could be it.
But I
Well, Aurelio Gomez was man of the match. Watford, the Watford.
no,
keeper.
no, and I understand that. I'm not trying to. Yeah, look, I'm not trying to denigrate QPR's performance. I'm just saying, and I suppose it
I'm
being
not
a
arguing
bad,
it being not boring.
a bad game suited QPR because
Yeah.
Watford would have been the favourites.
Yeah.
And I get all that, but it was the goals just before half time, wasn't it? And that was
Yeah.
the only really thing that kept me watching
Yeah.
because at that point I was thinking, God. Just get this over with. Let's just get this over with. Extra time and this. To be fair, I was thinking that in the round before when I went to Loftus Road to see them against Portsmouth. I was getting to the point where I was thinking I'd just take a defeat over extra time of this because another half an hour of this rubbish. I'm not getting sitting through that.
I enjoyed the woman telling Mariappa to sit down while he was warming up.
Is that?
She? I didn't
Oh,
see
God,
She was
that.
what
actually
was
like,
that?
sit down. She was in the crowd, and like Miranda was just standing in front of her. She was like, sit down,
Sit down.
sit down.
Can't see. Yeah.
That's excellent.
Blimey.
Gomez on his 38th birthday, though. Man of the match for him. He was delighted. Made a great save from Wales at
He
one
did.
point.
He did.
Most likely going to retire at the end of the season. That's what he said recently in an interview.
He's had a good career.
He has had a good
The,
career.
the octopus.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
forget about old Gomez. And he had a rick in him, especially when he was playing for Spurs. But my goodness, a great end.
Yeah, on his day though. I mean,
Oh, it's fantastic. But a proper South American goalkeeper.
yeah.
Oh, we have a. I think we have a tradition in goalkeeping generally where the best ones are completely mad, and he definitely had a bit of that about him. For
Yeah,
sure.
he could make some saves and maybe make a penalty save or something, and you would talk about match-winning saves. You know,
Yeah.
that save was
Yeah.
worth however many points and so on, and then he could make a little mistake. I don't want to be too harsh on him, but obviously that would cost them a.
Well, he hasn't
Yeah.
retired yet, so you can stick the boot in if you want. Just
Yeah.
don't do it when he retires.
I just
'cause
look
that'd
forward
be
to him
disrespectful.
leaving
Why
the
is
game.
that? Because he'll have more time on his hands and maybe come
Well,
looking for him.
I just think when players retire, it's the moment to be nice about them, right? It's
Right.
like when an outgoing prime minister or whatever. You've got to really be nice, otherwise you look
Cool,
really out of
blimey.
order. You look, yeah, well,
that
yeah.
seems outdated,
But
doesn't
you
it?
do. You look a bit childish, don't you? If you do that. But when he's still playing, yeah, stick the boot in.
Yeah,
But
but no,
he
he
makes
was
mistakes all the time.
he
He's
was
a
man
joke.
38th birthday, man of the match, clean sheet.
Love that.
Not too shabby.
Same
is
age
it?
as me.
Better than your 38th birthday, wasn't it, Peter?
He's not 38 yet.
38, yeah.
exactly.
April.
I'm
What
just-
do you know
I'm just
about
a-
Pete's upcoming birthday?
Yeah.
I'm just assuming.
What have you got
Brighton are through. They beat Derby County 2-1. A little bit of a scare for Brighton late on, although they dominated the match up until that point. Nice to see Ashley Cole among the goals again, eh?
Yeah,
It's
38.
his first ever FA Cup goal.
Yeah.
It is.
He's won. I think hasn't he won the FA Cup more than any other player?
Quite possibly.
But he's
Might-
never scored in
Might
it.
be right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was his first goal in English football for 6.5 years.
He can't score he can't score in English football if he's playing in America, though, can he?
No, I know, but he was. Was it 2012 when he last scored? So he left in 2014.
Oh, okay, right, fair enough. Yeah,
Yeah.
He wasn't really well known to scoring a huge
No.
amount of goals anyway.
No, he wasn't.
But
No.
that was a great one.
It was
Okay.
very instinctive finish.
Was it a header, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah.
That's how you do them. Yeah, Brighton made a lot of changes for this one. A few injuries and whatnot. Where Houghton rested some players. They've been very poor in the league of late. Their cup form has been pretty good though. So it's a nice distraction. It's one of those ones. Whereas Derby, I was looking at the statistics. If Derby, well, they're out all the cups now. By the end of the season, before the playoffs start, they will have played 54 games
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
season.
It's a slog. Long slog with
And
big,
with- with-
big Tommy Huddleston in the middle of the park as well.
Well, but you've made the point as well that they've got a lot of younger players in
Yeah.
there. Now, Ashley Cole, we've said that was a good signing or not, but he's 38, so there's still a lot of games to come. So it'll be interesting to see how they finish. I mean, we look at the example of Bristol City, who have done very well in cups of late. They fell away a bit last season, but now they're out. You know, they've got to focus on the league. These sides, and if you're one of the other challengers in there in the playoff spots or in the automatic promotion, you would have wanted Derby to go through. I think.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And no one's got back in touch with us about this idea that Bogle and Cole playing fullbacks on each side. It must be the biggest age gap between them because
Is that
Bogle, I
right?
think Bogle's 18. So and Cole's 30.
Well, take it then. If no one has pulled you
Can't
up
really
on
be,
it,
can't
then
really
it must
be.
be fact.
But yeah, I mean, of course, it's a real slog. I wonder if they have a little bit of time put aside in their team talk so Frank and Ashley can just reminisce about the good old days for
I should think
for
so.
half an hour.
I should think so.
Yeah.
What do we think of Brighton, Jim? Do you fancy them for the cup? Do you think they can beat Manchester City?
Well, this is it, isn't it? They're another one in there that would, perhaps have an eye on it. But I think, depending on how the game goes tonight, what we all want, right, is for whoever wins this game to draw City. Right?
Yes.
So it takes
Perfect.
care of one of those.
Yeah,
That'd be great. We would all like to see that. All neutrals anyway, I would think. But I think the other sides, the Watfords, the Wolves, they've got more than Brighton about
Mhm.
them. I think.
I
You'd,
agree.
you'd say Palace probably do as well at this moment.
just about.
Oh,
as well.
Derby in the
Yeah,
final.
imagine it.
Oh,
that's the
Palace
dream.
Brighton final.
The Palace Brighton
Get
weird
Pardew
derby
out for a
final.
half-time dance.
Yeah.
I mean, Palace obviously did quite a professional job, as you say, against Doncaster, but Palace can look to the results they've got against the bigger sides and say, well, actually, we beat Man City.
Mm.
If they draw them in the next round, that Hodgson can draw on those kind of experiences. But Brighton, I mean, but you never know. They're an awkward side to beat. We don't know what they're like defensively, but I agree their league form has been particularly poor. So perhaps I wouldn't hold out too much hope for them if they did draw a better side. But they're in the draw, Peter. So it's easier to predict League One at the moment with Pompey throwing. Pompey threw away a 3-goal lead to draw 3-3 with Southend. They haven't won
On
in
telly
6
as well.
It's the worst football experience I can remember.
It's like
They-
you stacked it on dancing
worse
on
than-
ice, that isn't it?
Worse than the QPR?
Yeah, but that was just more. That was just like wall to wall depressing. There was no hope in that.
They're 5 points off second now, Pompey. They led for so long. Luton, though, what about Luton Town? Set a new club record of 20 league games unbeaten. Mick Harford's come in as caretaker last month. Done a remarkable job. Won 6 and draw 1.
Yeah, he's done really
Since
well.
taken over. Luton are on the march, aren't they?
They are. They're doing well. I thought when they lost Nathan Jones, that would be a good bonus for Portsmouth.
Yeah, turned out not to be the
Yeah,
case.
I forgot the fact that actually Portsmouth have to win games as well, though.
Mm.
That's kind of part of it.
Don't get it through
And-
default.
And we're in a real moment because we've got this situation where Kenny Jackett likes to play 4-2-3-1. That's really solid.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really, or recently, doesn't manufacture many chances. So we go to Southend away, who aren't very good at home. We've got a load of injuries. I mean, Chris Powell's Southend, I don't know if you guys saw this. I think they had 4 players in 3 weeks get ACL injuries.
Ooh.
Oh, blind.
They've got about 8 or 9 players out for injury. They've been doing a real study of their own training methods and their training.
Well, you're
records.
going to have to look at that, yeah.
Yeah, allow Pompey to give you some confidence.
Yeah.
No but so anyway, so Pompey switched to a 4. I won't go on all day about this, but Portsmouth switched to a 4-4-2, and they look amazing.
Yeah.
Right, they go
Amazing.
3-0 up.
Yeah,
they were
no,
bossing it.
cruising,
It was
and that second goal
It's amazing,
was,
wasn't it?
was
Yeah.
a peach.
But do you know what happened, Jim? And this is where it gets you. Just before half time, Southend score, and you think, right, now I can't enjoy the half time because as a Portsmouth fan, 2 goals is never enough. And then the second half, we just completely embarrassed ourselves. What he should have done, because Chris Powell changed it, he should have switched back to a 4-2-3-1, kept it solid, and just kept hold of the ball. And we just lost it. We've got no confidence. No, I mean, some guy who crunches all the numbers. You know, one of those guys on the Twitter, he's one of those perverts.
Crunchy
On the
Steve.
Twitter.
He said Portsmouth, that by his calculations, have now got a 25% chance of promotion. We were 5 points clear on New
Allo,
Year's
a
Day.
quantum leap.
Yeah, there's the reference.
It was just the most horrendous afternoon's experience.
Lose to Sunderland in the semi-final of the playoff.
I don't know if we'll get to the playoffs.
Mm.
I think we've got a 9 or 10 point cushion, and we cannot buy a win.
well,
If
you
they
know, there's
finish
still-
7th, no,
Still hundreds of games to go at this point.
I know,
Fine.
that is
but
true.
I've for the penalty for Southend's penalty, Chris Powell looked away, didn't he? While
He wasn't
Simon
watching the
Cox
yeah.
stepped
He
up.
wasn't
What do you-
taking
what
it,
do you
so
think about
sorry.
that?
I don't think it sends
I
the right
don't
message.
know. I agree. I don't
Yeah.
like it when managers do that.
Yeah,
I guess the player wouldn't be aware of that, though.
Yeah, all true, but still,
He'll
I
find
just
out.
feel
I mean,
like, you know,
if Jim knows, the player will know.
Did you see the decision-making process from the Pompey player to award that penalty?
yeah,
I mean, what?
yeah, it was very.
It was
much.
absolutely baffling.
It's been a while since there's been any comic relief.
Oh, I'll go further. It's been a while since I controlled an actual football. So I don't know what I'm doing here. Oh, sorry, everyone.
Right.
Oh, but do you know what?
Oh, you said you weren't going to talk all day on this.
It is cathartic to talk about it.
Is it?
But it's
But not
making me.
now.
It's making me experience the whole thing again.
Not in front of the listeners.